on Westwood One and joins us now for a couple of minutes. Mike, thanks a million for doing this. And I'll just give you the floor as one who has seen so many great sports moments in your life in person. How would you describe what this weekend was?
It's right up there, Mike, with about as big as we have seen for a variety of reasons. I think the accomplishment athletically, but also the comeback part of this, too. We all know the story. We all know what's happened to Tiger, both physically and his career off the golf course. And I think a lot of us had said, it's about it. Tiger's not going to win any more majors. And even when he said at the Champions Dinner a few years ago that he thought he was done, that gave everyone good reason to believe, you know what, this has been a wonderful run, but he won't catch Jack. And now the door's open again. And the way he did it in spectacular fashion yesterday, it was a reminder, Mike, too, that Tiger always had that 15th club in his bag. He outthought people on the golf course. And we saw that yesterday. He did that around the second nine throughout the day.
100% agree. And so let's talk about what this means for the sport. This year, for the first time, they have moved the PGA Championship up, so it will be played in a month. So another major comes quickly as opposed to having to wait a long time. What does this mean for the sport of golf, what Tiger did this weekend?
That's a good point, because it's usually 2 month wait to the U.S. Open, and they're stacked, and so every month there's a big event. I think it keeps the interest going. Maybe you'll see Tiger one more time between now and then. That'll grab big headlines. And the other part of this, I think, there are a lot of other really good golfers, that next generation. Tiger's not going to do this for another 15 years, but that next generation is going to be exposed to more people because they're coming into the tent or under the tent to see Tiger. And I think that will be a healthy growth spurt and opportunity for the game. Look, Tiger crosses over so many different generations. He crosses over different demographics. He's got star quality like Jordan and LeBron and Serena and Federer. And when they do something in the athletic avenue, it brings other people across the street. And I think when they do that, they sample and they'll meet the other people who are now the best golfers in the world along with Tiger. So I think it's a huge boost to the game.
Listen, the next two major championships will be paid at Bethpage Black and then at Pebble Beach.
Right.
There is a combined total of one person who has won majors at both of those venues. And I'll give you one guess who that one person is. That's Tiger Woods. Do you expect to see him do this again this year?
You know, he's got a chance, Mike. I thought that the Masters was going to be the only place we'd see him contend again. But what we saw this week, what we saw at Bellerive in August, what we saw at Carnoustie last July, we now know that Tiger is a guy who can contend. And 18's in the picture. Jack Nicklaus had a great line last night. In good humor, I'm shaking in my boots. But Tiger does have what it takes now to get there. And none of us thought that a few years ago. That just adds to this incredible story.
Now, Mike, I had a chance to listen to part of your broadcast on Westwood One Radio, as I was telling you before. It was tremendous. Thank you so much for doing this. It was great to see you last week, and I appreciate you jumping in.
You got it, buddy. No problem, Greedy.
I'll see you soon. That's Mike Tirico again, NBC Sports and Golf Channel, and just a terrific job. And he was down there all week seeing all of that. SportsCenter tonight, 6 Eastern after PTI. Sage and Kevin with a look at the next big question for Tiger Woods. Plus, will KD keep his cool tonight against Patrick Beverley and the Clippers? And Russell Wilson's deadline for a new contract from the Seahawks is today. What does that mean? SportsCenter after PTI on ESPN and the ESPN app. Speaking of which, let me explain. Today is Russell Wilson's deadline day for a new contract with the Seahawks. Reports have indicated the two sides are ramping up negotiations over the weekend, but no deal has been finalized to this point. Wilson is still expected to report to the team's offseason workout program, which begins today with or without a deal. It's not a question of holding out. It's a question of what the future would look like if he doesn't have a contract. I want to bring Field Yates in on that thought. Good morning, Field. How likely is it that a deal gets done today? And maybe more significantly, what happens if it doesn't?
Yeah, well, good morning, Greeny. And as of at one point this weekend, there was not a ton of a sense or confidence that a deal between Russell Wilson and the Seahawks would get done. And as we know, today is the deadline, but it's not like this just popped up a couple of days ago. These two sides have been working on a deal for quite some time. But remember, though, the last time Russell Wilson has set a deadline for a contract extension, the two sides hammered out a deal at the very last minute. So don't rule out an extension today, even if it doesn't seem likely at this moment. Now, should an extension not be reached, all of a sudden we face a situation where most players, specifically quarterbacks, want to sign a deal a year before their current deal expires. Russell Wilson may be the outlier. If he doesn't get a deal done by today, it may be that we are talking about Russell Wilson and a franchise tag, and Russell Wilson and the possibility of the Seahawks not having him as a part of their franchise at some point down the line going forward. That's just the way it works with quarterback contracts in the NFL. A season of what-ifs and hypotheticals could rule Seattle if no deal is done by later on today.
And then let's throw in the seemingly impossible scenario, but as we learned this weekend, sometimes the impossible happens. Tyrann Mathieu recently tweeted that Russell wants New York. There have been some low-key rumors about Wilson being traded to the Giants. Is there any real possibility Russell Wilson gets traded before the draft?
You know, one thing here, Greeny, to keep in mind is that a team that will be trading for Russell Wilson is essentially paying the price in two separate ways. One, plenty of draft capital, because Russell Wilson's not going to come cheap. You're probably paying at least one first-round picks, perhaps multiple first-round picks, and then likely a record-setting contract for Russell Wilson. So while the Giants might make sense, given the fact that they have a massive need at long-term quarterback, this is a team that right now, from what I understand, Greeny, is more focused on finding a way to rebuild its roster through the draft. As things currently stand, they have 12 draft picks, and as much as fans would be clamoring for Russell Wilson, and he would make a lot of sense given the team's needs and the affinity for New York, etc., I think the team is much more likely to be focused on potentially one of the draft prospects at quarterback that could be available at pick 6 or 17. There are two selections of the first round, as we are now just about 10 days from the first round of the NFL draft.
Going to make it awfully interesting to follow. Phil, good to see you. Thank you, my friend. We'll be checking in regularly as we work our way towards the NFL draft. And here's a reminder. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, we will air our 30 for 30 film about Junior Seau on ESPN. It's the story of how he became one of the greatest linebackers of all time, only to have his life end in a tragedy that would rock the league. You can always watch it streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, let me get you to some basketball here. We talked earlier this morning with RJ and DJ about some of the games of the weekend. Now let's get to some of the headlines. Luke Walton agreeing in principle with Sacramento to become their next head coach about 24 hours after being fired by the Lakers. Richard Jefferson, you have known Luke Walton forever. You just put it on the table. The two of you are good friends. But this feels like a really good fit to me. Right now, I think that the coaching job in Sacramento, whoever would have thought you'd say these words, feels like a better job than the coaching job in LA.
No, and I agree. And so I got a little bit of heat because I said, I don't think the Laker coaching job is a great job. One, you look at the amount of turnover. Yes, they have talent, but there's so many external things there that go on. But when you look at the Kings job, you just get a GM that just got a 4-year extension in Vlade Divac. You're able to just coach basketball. It's not dads. It's not all this celebrity. It's not all this we only get free agents. We don't do development. Just coach a basketball place, and I think Luke Walton is a great fit there.
And not only that, but the expectations are reasonable. You put that team in the playoffs, and you start making improvement, and people say, "Oh, you've done a great job."
Exactly.
And with LeBron James, fair or unfair, that team doesn't make the playoffs, and we just saw it. The coach gets fired. What do you think, DJ?
Well, I mean, that's a part of the business. When Bron left the Cavs and went to LA, I got fired. So I'm sitting.
Rightfully so.
I'm sitting here today saying, hey, King, man, coach killer. But I think this is a good move for Sacramento. They have a nice young nucleus. I think Luke will fit well with those guys, and I wish him the best.
And so then we've got the Laker thing, and we've got Ty Lue out there, and now they're meeting with Juwan Howard and with Monty Williams. Where do we see all of that as it stands?
So what time? When you going back to LA? When's your flight to LA?
I don't know what you're talking about. I said on Friday that Ty Lue was the best fit for the Lakers because of his resume to this point. Whatever decision that Jeannie and Rob Pelinka make, I hope it's Ty Lue because I think he's the best fit.
And realistically, putting all jokes aside, and we're all joking as you were coached under Ty Lue and all that kind of stuff, we're all just assuming you're going to go coach with him again if he gets that job. Realistically, why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just saying,
realistically,
okay.
Richard.
Yes.
I have to believe that LeBron James has some say in this, right? He became almost a forgotten person in all the controversy surrounding Magic Johnson and everything. But you have to believe, and to use your words, rightfully so, it's appropriate for that chair.
Yeah.
LeBron James will have some say in what happens here, yes?
Well, Bron and D. Jones knows this. He likes to do you guys might want my opinion, but I want to stay out of it, right? Because if things don't go right, I don't want y'all looking at me like this is my fault. He gets enough heat in these moments being a coach killer as he killed D. Jones's career, as we know. But I really think that, you know, they're going to ask him his opinion, but the way he typically gives it is in a way of like, hey, this is your decision.
Look, let's just put this on the table. Like, this is it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron James doesn't have another cycle to go through.
Yeah.
If he's going to win another championship, if he's going to bring a title to LA, which is obviously important to him, it's going to have to be with this coach, whoever they hire this week. He does. So I wouldn't have any issue with him having some say in this, because if he's going to go down, I got to believe he wants to go down swinging in a way that he feels good about.
Of course. I mean, you know, like you said, you know, he has 3 more years left on his contract, and he's playing at a high level right now. He doesn't want to waste any more years. This year was already a waste because they didn't make the playoffs because of several different reasons, injuries and things of that nature or whatever. But going forward, they have to put the best foot forward to LA Lakers in bringing in the right coach and building around LeBron with key free agents.
And I agree with everything that he said, but the biggest step in the right direction was Magic Johnson stepping down. 99.9% of the people that are in that job spend 80 hours a week doing just that job. And Magic, no disrespect, was probably doing 20 because he was working with the Dodgers. He had his own things going on. He has found it. He just had too many things. If you're going to do that job, you need someone that's the only thing they're focused on.
Yes, and candidly, and I can't blame him, being Magic Johnson
it's tough.
and it's fun.
Yeah,
being
fun.
Magic Johnson has got to be fun.
Yeah.
I would much rather be Magic Johnson running around as a celebrity doing all the things he gets to enjoy than spending 80 hours a week scouting high school players in Europe.
Yeah, and he told me, he's like, when are you going to coach? I'm like, I don't want to coach because this job is fun. I prefer doing this job than to go coach and work 90 hours a week.
Well, DJ, you got to be crazy to be going back.
I love this chair, and I love being here. I love being on TV. My celebrity status has went through the roof since being on the network, and I appreciate it. But I love the grind. I love the competitiveness, and I love the camaraderie with being with a team. So.
Yeah, wait till you get back there and your players are looking at their cell phone on the bench during playoff games. You're going to miss me. You're going to miss me, John.
Oh, man, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
And you know what the NBA guys were thinking about yesterday? They were thinking about Tiger Woods. Steph Curry, who, by the way, is a great golfer, tweeted, greatest comeback story in sports. Congrats, Tiger Woods. Let me hold one of those 5 jackets one time. LeBron James out there, I salute you, Tiger Woods, #inspired. And Magic Johnson, who can tweet again now that he no longer has that job.
Is that tampering?
A big congratulations to Tiger Woods for winning the Masters. The roar of the Tiger is back. And we have a lot more on Tiger Woods in our next hour as we roll on in a Sunday filled with emotional moments. What was it like being at Augusta National? We'll take a look back, and his Tigers caddy Joe LaCava will join us live. Stay with us.